I'm writing this because I need someone to know what I did, what I destroyed. Maybe if I say it out loud, it'll feel real. Maybe it'll hurt the way it should. Her name was Sarah. My wife is Sarah. I don't even know what tense to use anymore. She laughed at my jokes. She looked at me like I was interesting, like I mattered. Sarah hadn't looked at me that way in years. That's what I told myself, anyway. That's the lie I built everything on. We'd been married 9 years. 2 kids. Emma was 10. Jake was 8. Sarah worked part-time as a nurse. I was in sales. We had a house in the suburbs. We had date nights once a month when her mom could babysit. We had a life. But somewhere along the way, I started feeling invisible. Sarah was tired all the time. The kids needed everything. Our conversations became logistics. Did you pay the electric bill? Jake has soccer at 4. Emma needs new shoes. When was the last time we just talked? I'd think. When was the last time she saw me? Rebecca saw me. The first night, we just talked. 4 hours in that hotel bar. She told me about her divorce. I told her about feeling like a ghost in my own home. She touched my arm when she laughed. It felt like electricity. I went back to my room alone at night. I texted Sarah goodnight. She sent back a thumbs up emoji. Not even words. See, I told myself. See how little I matter. The second night of the conference, Rebecca invited me to her room. I should have said no. I should have gone home. I should have talked to Sarah. Tried therapy. Tried anything. Instead, I went. I'm not going to describe what happened. It doesn't matter. What matters is that I made a choice. I chose to betray the person who'd loved me since we were 22, who'd given me 2 perfect kids, who'd built a life with me. I chose Rebecca's attention over Sarah's trust, and I kept choosing it. For 3 months, Rebecca and I texted every day. We met up twice more. Both times, I told Sarah I had overnight work trips. She believed me. Why wouldn't she? I'd never lied before. That's what killed me later. How easy it was. How she never suspected. Because she trusted me completely. I was careful. I deleted messages. I used a separate credit card. I showered before I came home. I thought I was being smart. I was just being a coward. Then came the day that changed everything. It was a Tuesday. Normal Tuesday. I'd gotten home early from actual work. Sarah's car was in the driveway. I could hear voices from the kitchen as I came in through the garage. I was about to call out hello when I heard Sarah's voice. She was talking to the kids. Sometimes I wonder what my life would be like if I'd made different choices. I froze. My hand on the doorknob. Emma's small voice. What do you mean, Mommy? I mean. Sarah's voice cracked. I wonder what would have happened if I'd never married Daddy. If I'd never had you too. If I could just start over and live the life I actually wanted. The world tilted. Jake said something I couldn't hear. Then sorry again. Clearer now. I love you both. But sometimes love isn't enough. Sometimes I look at my life and think, this isn't what I imagined. Your father isn't who I thought he was. And I'm trapped. I'm stuck in this life I didn't really choose, with kids I didn't really plan for, married to someone who doesn't even see me anymore. My stomach turned to ice. You don't love us. Emma's voice was so small. I do. I think I do. But Emma, sweetie, sometimes I wish I could just disappear. Start fresh. Be someone else. Someone who isn't tired all the time and angry all the time and so lonely. I stood there for 30 seconds. Maybe a minute. My whole body numb. Then I pushed the door open. 3 faces turned toward me. Emma had tears streaming down her face. Jake looked confused. Sarah went white. Don't move, I said. My voice sounded distant. I want to hear the rest. Please. Tell our children again how you wish they were never born. I didn't. Sarah started. Tell them again how you're trapped. How you didn't really choose this. Go ahead. Emma burst into sobs. Jake grabbed her hand. Sarah stood up. You don't understand. I was just telling our kids you regret them? Yeah. I got that part. Looking back, I know what I should have felt. Horror. Sympathy. Recognition that my wife was clearly drowning. That she'd said something awful in a moment of exhaustion and pain. But all I felt was rage. And underneath it, something worse. Justification. I told Sarah we needed to talk. She sent the kids to their rooms. Emma wouldn't look at either of us. Jake kept asking if he did something wrong. In our bedroom, Sarah tried to explain. I'm exhausted. I didn't mean it. I was just venting. The kids don't understand. You told them you wish they didn't exist. I was having a bad day. You were never here. I'm doing everything alone. I just. So this is my fault? I didn't say that. You literally just said I'm never here. We fought for an hour. She cried. She apologized. She said she loved the kids more than anything. She'd just been overwhelmed. It came out wrong. I didn't tell her about Rebecca. I should have. That would have been the moment. Confess everything. Lay it all out. Maybe we could have both started being honest. Instead, I held my secret like a weapon. That night, I texted Rebecca. Can we talk? She called immediately. I went out to my car. I told her what Sarah had said. How she'd destroyed our kids. How she clearly didn't want this life. Rebecca made sympathetic noises. She told me I deserved better. She told me Sarah was toxic. She told me I should leave. You could stay with me for a while, she said. Figure things out. And God help me, I considered it. Over the next 2 weeks, things got worse. Emma stopped talking to Sarah. She'd eat dinner in silence, do her homework, go to bed. When Sarah tried to hug her, she'd go stiff. Jake started having nightmares. He'd wake up crying, asking if we were going to send him away. If we wanted him. Sarah was falling apart. She tried to apologize to the kids. Tried to explain. But how do you take back I wish you weren't born? And me? I watched it all from a distance. I'd check my phone constantly. Text Rebecca. Make plans to meet up again. I told myself Sarah had shown her true colors. That I was justified now. That I couldn't trust her anymore. The truth is, I wanted her to be the villain. Because then I wasn't. 3 weeks after I overheard that conversation, I came home to an empty house. No note. No text. Sarah's car was gone. The kids' backpacks were gone. Some clothes were gone. I called her phone. It rang twice, then went to voicemail. I called her mom. No answer. I called her sister. She picked up. Don't call this number again, she said. Where's Sarah? Where are my kids? Somewhere safe. Away from you. What are you talking about? She knows. My blood stopped. Knows what? About Rebecca. About all of it. She found your other credit card statement. She saw everything. Every hotel. Every dinner. Every light. I sat down on the floor. She was going to talk to you, Sarah's sister continued. She was going to try to work it out. She was willing to forgive you. Past tense. Was. But then she heard you. Last night. On the phone with that woman. Talking about her. About the kids. Laughing. I'd been in the garage. I thought no one could hear. You called your own children baggage. You said your wife let herself go. You said you were done pretending. Oh God. Oh God. Sarah recorded it. She has everything. The lawyer says it's a clean case. You won't get custody. Maybe not even visitation, after what you said. I need to talk to her, I said. She doesn't want to talk to you. Please. You made her feel crazy for months. You let her think she was the monster. You used what she said to our kids in a moment of weakness as permission to keep cheating on her. You're disgusting. She hung up. That was 4 months ago. Sarah filed for divorce 2 weeks later. She let me see the kids once, supervised, at her mom's house. Emma wouldn't come out of the bedroom. Jake sat on the couch next to Sarah and asked me why I didn't love them anymore. I tried to explain. Tried to say I did love them. That this was between me and their mom. But mommy said you think we're baggage, Jake said. What's baggage? Sarah's face was stone. It means something heavy you don't want to carry. Jake started crying. We're not heavy, Daddy. We're not. The divorce is almost final now. Sarah got the house. The kids. Everything. I'm paying child support and alimony. I moved into a studio apartment across town. Rebecca stopped answering my calls after I told her about the divorce. Turns out she wasn't looking for actual commitment. Just the thrill. My parents barely speak to me. My dad called me a disgrace. My mom cried and asked how I could do this. I lost friends. Word got around. People took sides. Sarah's side. Last week, I drove past the house. Our house. Sarah had planted new flowers in the front yard. I could see through the window. Emma and Jake were helping her make dinner. They were laughing. They looked happier without me. I've tried to write this ending 5 times now. I keep trying to make it sound less pathetic. Less deserved. But here's the truth. I hurt my wife at her lowest moment. Instead of helping her, I used it as permission to hurt her more. I destroyed my family because I wanted to feel special. Because I was bored. Because I'm selfish. Sarah said something unforgivable in a moment of pain. I did unforgivable things with planning and intention. There's no coming back from this. No lesson that makes it worth it. No wisdom that balances the scales. I just wanted someone to know what I did. What it cost. What I am. And maybe, if you're reading this and thinking about that person who isn't your spouse, who makes you feel seen, who might be worth the risk, maybe you'll remember this. Remember me. Remember that some choices don't just end relationships. They end you. The version of you that your kids loved. That your spouse trusted. That you used to be proud of. I look in the mirror now and see a stranger wearing my face. I was so sure I deserved better than Sarah. Turns out, Sarah deserved better than me. The first month after Sarah left, I kept thinking she'd come back. I know how that sounds. Delusional. But I'd wake up every morning in that studio apartment and think, today she'll call. Today she'll realize families don't just end. Today she'll remember the good years. She never called. My lawyer told me not to contact her directly. Everything had to go through attorneys now. I'd get formal emails with subject lines like parenting time modification and asset division, response required. The woman I'd spent 9 years with was now a petitioner in legal documents. Our life together was being reduced to spreadsheets and custody schedules. I signed papers in conference rooms that smelled like coffee and defeat. Other men waiting their turn. We'd make eye contact sometimes. We all had the same hollow look. I got supervised visitation every other Saturday. 2 hours. At a facility designed for parents who couldn't be trusted. There were toys everywhere. Bright walls. Security cameras. A woman named Patricia sat in the corner with a clipboard, writing down everything I said to my kids. The first visit, only Jay came. He walked in holding Sarah's hand. She was wearing her hair different. Shorter. She looked tired but somehow lighter. Like she'd been carrying something heavy and finally put it down. She looked at me for exactly 2 seconds. No expression. Then she turned to Jake. I'll be right outside, baby. Patricia is here if you need anything. Jake nodded. He didn't let go of her hand. It's okay, Sarah said softly. It's just 2 hours. Then we'll get ice cream. That's done. Ice cream used to be our thing. Saturday mornings, I'd take the kids for ice cream while Sarah had time to herself. Now it was her reward for them enduring me. Jake sat across from me at the little table. There was a puzzle between us. Farm animals. For toddlers, really. Jake was 8. Hey, buddy, I said. My voice cracked. I missed you. He didn't answer. Just started putting puzzle pieces together. He was crying silently. Tears just rolling down his cheeks while he worked. Jake, I'm so sorry. For everything. I love you so much. He placed a cow in the wrong spot. Tried to force it. Can I help? I reached for a piece. No. His first word to me. Small and hard. We sat there for 90 minutes. He did 3 puzzles. I watched. Patricia wrote on her clipboard. The last 30 minutes, Jake finally spoke again. Mommy cries at night. My throat closed. Emma heard her. She cries in the bathroom with the water running. But we can still hear. I'm sorry, I whispered. Why did you say we were baggage? There it was. The question I couldn't answer without lying or destroying him further. I was angry. I said something stupid. I didn't mean it. Mommy says you meant it. She says when people are angry, they tell the truth. When Sarah came back to get him, Jake ran to her. Actually ran. Like he was being rescued. She knelt down and held him. Whispered something in his ear. He nodded against her shoulder. Then she stood and looked at me. Really looked at me. He had nightmares all week because he was scared to come today. Sarah, don't. I'm not here to talk to you. I'm here for him. Where's Emma? She refused. She's old enough to choose. I'm her father. You're her father. Now you're the man who broke her heart. Patricia cleared her throat. We should. We're leaving, Sarah said. She took Jake's hand. I watched them walk out. Through the window, I could see her buckle him into the car. She kissed his forehead. Said something that made him smile. They drove away. I sat in my car in that parking lot for an hour. Just sat there. Watched other broken families come and go. Dads who'd lost the right to be trusted. Kids who'd learned too young that parents can betray you. Rebecca called me twice in those first weeks. I didn't answer. The second time, she left a voicemail. Hey, I know things are complicated right now, but I miss you. Maybe when things settle down, we could. I deleted it before she finished. She sent a text the next day. Are you mad at me? I stared at that message for 10 minutes. Was I mad? At her? She didn't owe me anything. She didn't make vows to Sarah. She didn't promise to love those kids. She was just a person I met in a bar who was available and interested. I was the one who was married. I was the one who had everything to lose. I blocked her number. Work became unbearable. I'd been a decent salesman before. Friendly. Good at reading people. Building rapport. I'd won awards. Made good money. Now I couldn't focus. I'd be in meetings and lose track of conversations. I'd stare at my computer screen and see Sarah's face. Emma's tears. Jake crying over puzzle pieces. My numbers dropped. My boss pulled me aside. Everything okay at home? Divorce, I said. He nodded slowly. Take some time if you need it. But time didn't help. Time just meant more hours alone with what I'd done. I started driving past the house more often. I know how that sounds. Stalker behavior. But I couldn't help it. I'd tell myself I was just in the neighborhood. Just checking on him. The truth is, I was addicted to the pain of seeing what I'd lost. I'd park down the street and watch. Sarah's car in the driveway. Lights on in the kitchen. Sometimes I'd see shadows moving past the windows. The kids getting ready for bed. Sarah helping with homework. Life continuing without me. One night, I saw a man's silhouette in the kitchen window. My hands gripped the steering wheel. My vision went red. She was dating already? It hadn't even been 3 months. I watched him move around the kitchen. Tall. Broad shoulders. He handed Sarah something. She laughed. She laughed. I hadn't heard her laugh in years. I called my brother that night. Danny. He'd been avoiding me since the divorce news. But he picked up. What? Not a question. Just flat acknowledgement. There's a guy at the house. Silence. Did you hear me? There's a guy. So Sarah's already moved on? It's been 3 months. You moved on while you were still married. Direct hit. I deserved it. I thought she'd need time. For what? To more new? You're not dead. You're just dead to her. There's a difference. Who is he? How would I know? You still talk to Sarah's sister. Another silence. Longer this time. Danny? His name is Marcus. He's a teacher at Emma's school. He's been helping the kids adjust. Being a friend to Sarah. And before you ask, no, there's nothing going on. Not that it's any of your business if there was. Emma's school? Yeah. He's Jake's teacher next year too. The kids like him. He's patient. Kind. Shows up. All the things you didn't do. I started checking Sarah's social media. She'd blocked me, but I could see some things from fake accounts. Photos friends had posted. There was one of Emma's birthday party. She turned 11. I'd missed it. My own daughter's birthday. In the photo, Emma was smiling. Actually smiling. Sarah had her arm around her. Jake was making a silly face. And in the background, slightly out of focus, was Marcus. He was holding a tray of cupcakes. The caption, best birthday ever. Thanks to everyone who made Emma's day special. I wasn't in a single photo. Not in the background. Not mentioned in the caption. Erased. The second supervised visit, Jake came again. Still no Emma. This time he brought a drawing. He'd made it at school. A family portrait. He showed it to Patricia first. She smiled and said it was beautiful. Then he put it on the table between us. I made this in art class, he said. I looked at it. Sarah in the middle. Emma on one side. Jake on the other. A house behind them. A sun in the corner. No me. It's really good, I said. My voice was shaking. Ms. Rodriguez said to draw our family. So I did. Am I? I couldn't finish the sentence. Jake looked at the drawing. Then at me. His eyes were older than they should be. You left, he said simply. Ms. Rodriguez said family is the people who stay. I tried to explain. Tried to tell him I didn't leave by choice. That his mom kicked me out. That I wanted to be there. Patricia interrupted. Maybe we should do an activity. But Jake wasn't done. Mommy told us the truth. About Rebecca. About how you chose her instead of us. My stomach dropped. Jake, that's not. She said you have a sickness. That you couldn't help it. That some people have sicknesses that make them hurt the people they love. Sarah had called it a sickness. Was she protecting me? Or teaching them I was dangerous? She said we should still love you. But we don't have to trust you. Love and trust are different. He was 8 years old and he was teaching me lessons I should have known. That night, I broke. Not in a dramatic way. No yelling or throwing things. I just sat on the floor of my apartment and cried. Really cried. The kind of crying that's been waiting months to happen. I thought about Sarah. About how she'd said she regretted the kids in a moment of exhaustion. One moment. One mistake. I'd used that moment to justify 3 months of planned, deliberate betrayal. She'd said words she didn't mean. I'd done things I couldn't take back. And somehow, I'd made myself the victim. The wronged husband. The one who deserved sympathy. I thought about calling her. Apologizing. Really apologizing. But what would I say? Sorry I destroyed our family? Sorry I used your worst moment against you? Sorry I taught our kids that love is conditional and trust is meaningless? There weren't words for what I'd done. I found a therapist. Dr. Chen. She was recommended by someone at work. Specializes in infidelity recovery, they said. First session, she asked why I was there. My wife left me. I can't see my kids. I ruined everything. Tell me how. So I did. The whole story. Rebecca. The affair. What I'd overheard Sarah say. How I'd used it as justification. The recording she found. The divorce. Dr. Chen took notes. When I finished, she looked at me for a long moment. Do you think you're a victim in this story? No. Are you sure? Because the way you tell it, there's a lot of but she said and but I felt ignored. Those are victim statements. I know I was wrong. Knowing and accepting are different. You know the facts. But have you accepted what you are? What am I? She closed her notebook. That's what we're going to figure out. Week 3, Dr. Chen asked me to write a letter. Not to send. Just to write. Write to Sarah. Tell her what you should have told her before any of this happened. I went home and stared at blank paper for an hour. Finally, I wrote. Dear Sarah, I'm tired. Not physically. Tired of being invisible. Tired of coming home to logistics and to-do lists. Tired of being the man who pays bills and takes out trash but never gets really seen. I miss you. The you from before kids. Before mortgage. Before we turned into roommates who happened to share a bed. I'm lonely. And I know you are too. I see it. I just don't know how to fix it. Can we try? Please. I'm scared we're losing each other. I brought it to session 4. Dr. Chen read it slowly. Then she looked up. When did you write this? Last week. No. When should you have written this? I understood. 3 years ago. 4. Before Rebecca. Before everything. Why didn't you? I don't know. Yes, you do. I sat with that. Really sat with it. Because I was scared, I finally said. Scared she'd say she felt it too. That we really were just roommates. That the spark was gone. That she'd agree we should end it. So instead of risking that conversation, I made the decision for both of us. I ended it by cheating. So I didn't have to face the fear of her ending it first. Dr. Chen nodded. You didn't have an affair because Sarah wasn't enough. You had an affair because you weren't brave enough. That broke something open in me. I'd spent months blaming her. Blaming exhaustion. Blaming boredom. Blaming everything except the truth. I was a coward. I couldn't face my own marriage, so I burned it down and pretended it was already dead. The supervised visits continued. Jake came. Emma didn't. Week 6, Jake brought a friend. A drawing from Emma. It was a picture of our old house. But the roof was on fire. Stick figures running away. One stick figure, with what looked like my hair, standing alone, watching. In the corner, in Emma's neat handwriting. Some fires you can't put out. You just have to let everything burn. She was 11. I taught her that before she hit middle school. I asked Patricia if I could write to Emma. She said she'd check with the guardian ad litem. 3 days later, request denied. Emma has clearly expressed she's not ready for contact. I wrote the letter anyway. Put it in a drawer. Maybe someday. Dear Emma, I'm sorry I taught you that people leave. That love has conditions. That dads can become strangers. I'm sorry I'll never walk you down an aisle or meet your first real boyfriend or help you move into college. I'm sorry I'm the reason you'll second-guess every person who says they love you. I'm sorry you learned that the world breaks promises, and I'm the one who taught you that lesson. I understand if you never forgive me. I don't forgive me either. Love. Your father. 3 months into supervised visits, Sarah's lawyer sent a motion. They wanted to reduce my time. Jake was regressing, having panic attacks before visits. Sarah wanted to stop them temporarily. My lawyer called. We can fight this. Will we win? Long pause. Probably not. The guardian ad litem's report isn't good. She interviewed Jake. He told her he feels safer when he doesn't have to see you. My son felt safer without me. Don't fight it, I said. Are you sure? Yeah. I wasn't sure of anything. But what kind of father makes his kid have panic attacks just to satisfy his own need to see him? The last supervised visit was in October. Halloween was coming. Jake was going to be a dinosaur. Sarah was going to take them trick-or-treating in the new neighborhood. They'd moved. Sarah sold our house. Bought something smaller across town. Closer to our mom. Further from me. Jake told me about the costume. About the plan. About how Marcus was going to come with him for safety. He's really tall, Jake said. Nobody will mess with us. I nodded and smiled and died inside. That's good, buddy. That's really good. When Sarah picked him up, I walked outside with them. Broke protocol. Patricia called out, but I ignored her. Sarah. Wait. She turned. Hand on Jake's shoulder. Please. Can we just talk? 5 minutes. There's nothing to say. I need to tell you something. I need you to know. I know you're sorry. Your lawyer already said that. Multiple times. No. Not sorry. I mean, yes, sorry. But I need you to know that I understand now. What you said that day. To the kids. I understand. Her face changed. Something flickered. You were drowning. And I didn't see it. I should have helped you. Instead, I used your worst moment as an excuse to hurt you more. And I need you to know that I know that. That I understand what I did. Jake was looking between us. Confused. Sarah's eyes filled with tears. But her voice stayed hard. You were right. I was drowning. And you weren't just standing on the shore. You were holding my head underwater. So congratulations. You finally figured it out. Do you want a prize? No. I wanted you to know that you weren't the monster. I was. We both were, she said quietly. Difference is, I said something horrible once. You did horrible things for months. On purpose. She turned away. Then stopped. Marcus is just a friend. In case you're wondering. He's kind and patient and he shows up. But he's just a friend. I'm not ready for anything else. I may never be ready. Because you didn't just break my heart. You broke my ability to trust that hearts are safe with anyone. She got in the car. Drove away. I never saw Jake again. The visits stopped. Sarah moved again. I don't know where. My lawyer said they were allowed to relocate. That I'd given up my right to object when I'd agreed to stop visitation. I pay child support every month. The money disappears from my account. Goes somewhere. To Emma's soccer and Jake's school supplies and Sarah's therapy bills. I'm funding the life they're building without me. And here's the thing nobody tells you about consequences. They don't end. People think punishment is finite. You do the crime. You do the time. You learn your lesson. You move on. But some consequences don't end. They just keep going. They compound. They grow. Emma is 11 now. By the time she's 18, I'll have missed 7 years. Every school play. Every report card. Every heartbreak. Every triumph. Jake is 8. 10 years until adulthood. 10 years of growing up without a father. 10 years of Marcus or someone like Marcus filling the space I left empty. Sarah is 34. She is decades ahead of her. Decades where she'll flinch when someone says they love her. Decades where she wonder if she's enough. Decades of explaining to therapists and friends and maybe someday a new partner that she's broken in specific ways because of specific things I did. These aren't consequences that end. They're consequences that become part of their story. Part of who they are. I didn't just hurt them. I changed them. Last week, I drove past the old house. The new owners have repainted. Different color. The tree we planted when Emma was born is taller now. There were bikes in the driveway. A basketball hoop. Some other family's story happening in the space where ours died. I pulled away and realized I'd been crying. When did that start? How long had I been driving with tears on my face? I ended up at the cemetery where my grandmother is buried. I used to take the kids there. We'd bring flowers. Tell stories. I sat at her grave and talked to her like I used to when I was little. I messed up, Grandma. I messed up so bad. The wind blew. Leaves scattered. You always said actions have consequences. That choices matter. That the person you are is the sum of what you do, not what you intend. A crow landed nearby. Watched me. I think I understand now. I'm not the person I thought I was. I'm not the person I wanted to be. I'm just the person I chose to be. And that person is someone my kids are safer without. The crow flew away. I stayed until dark. Dr. Chun asked me last session what I'd learned. I thought for a long time that there's no version of this story where I'm not the villain. That's the hardest part. Looking for the angle where I'm misunderstood or where circumstances explain it. But there isn't one. I'm just the bad guy. In my kid's story. In Sarah's story. In my own story. She nodded slowly. Can you live with that? I have to. That's not what I asked. I don't know. How do you live with being the monster in the story? How do you wake up every day knowing you're the reason other people have nightmares? You find a way to be different going forward. You make amends where you can. You accept what you can't fix. And if nothing can be fixed? She leaned forward. Then you carry it. The weight of what you did. You don't get to put it down. That's what consequences mean. You carry it forever. And maybe, if you carry it consciously, if you really feel the weight of it, you become someone who never makes others carry that weight. That's the only redemption available. I don't have contact with Emma and Jake anymore. I probably never will again. I don't know if Sarah ever remarried or if Marcus became more than a friend. I don't know if she still cries in the bathroom with the water running. I don't know if Emma still draws pictures of fires or if Jake still has nightmares. I don't get to know. That's part of the consequence too. Not knowing. Living with questions that will never be answered. I'm writing this from that same studio apartment. It's late. Almost midnight. I have work tomorrow. A life that looks almost normal from the outside. But inside, I'm hollow. Scooped out. Going through motions. People say time heals. That you move on. That life goes on. They're right about the last part. Life does go on. Sarah's life. Emma's life. Jake's life. Mine just stopped. I'm frozen in that moment I heard Sarah say she regretted them. That moment I chose to judge instead of help. That moment I decided my pain mattered more than my promises. That's where I live now. In that moment. Forever. If you're reading this and you're thinking about that text you haven't sent, that drink you shouldn't have, that person who isn't your spouse but makes you feel seen, think about this. What are you willing to lose? Really lose. Not just for now. Forever. Are you willing to become a stranger to your children? To be the person they warn their friends about? The cautionary tale? Are you willing to turn love into terror? To make the person who trusted you most never feel safe again? Are you willing to look in the mirror and see someone you don't recognize? Someone you don't respect? Someone you can't forgive? Because that's what's waiting on the other side of that choice. Not adventure. Not freedom. Not happiness. Just consequences that never end in a version of yourself you'll spend the rest of your life trying to escape. I thought I deserved better than Sarah. Now I know the truth. I didn't deserve Sarah at all. And my children? They deserved a father who showed up. Who stayed. Who chose them every single day. Instead, they got me. And that's something all three of us will carry forever.